The nature of consciousness. Well, that's a pretty difficult one for the mind to try and convey some sort of plausible answer. The nature of consciousness is being. Is being. Being. Meaning, whatever is here. Without it, without consciousness, nothing is here. Absolutely nothing is here. Even beyond life, afterlife, Brahman state, Atman state. Because when consciousness, or if consciousness could be taken away, then even God's consciousness, Atman consciousness, Brahman consciousness is gone. So, no heaven, paradise, hell. Nature of consciousness is existence, is being. We perceive through a assumption, that once we die, we don't have any consciousness. That what dies is the consciousness. That what dies is the consciousness. The source of consciousness. For humans, breath. If you ask any yogi, the way to experience full-blown, pure consciousness that you already are right now, but masked with an idea, a conceptual world, a believing world, a hopeful world, a attached world, an associated to the world, you'll not experience it. They say, the yogis, personal experience as well, the moment you concentrate on your breath only, for a long period of time, and there's an opportunity that consciousness can be experienced in its full state. Now, when one simply watches the breath, but the mind suddenly becomes active, something is pulling you away from this revelation, this seeing, this pure consciousness that you already are now. So is there any point in looking for consciousness? This is a world of choices, you see. Do I want to seek God or do I not want to seek God? Do I want to become religious or do I not want to become religious? Do I want to be rich or do I want to be poor? Do I want to be famous or do I want to be just a monk hidden away? All these are conscious actions. There is only consciousness. There is only consciousness. God is consciousness, meaning, whatever it is, it's a conscious being. Brahman, Atman, consciousness, meaning conscious beings, meaning being consciousness, being conscious, being meaning existing, alive. So when the breath is being pursued, followed, with no detractions, no nothing, the veil of mind still exists. Because the veil of mind will come within the core of consciousness and say, you found it. That's it. Got it. So all knowledge of what consciousness may have been, consciousness meaning everything, every state. If you're looking for angels within your breath, The idea of what you assume an angel was or is exists. So you have to remove that information, that knowledge, that conditioned stuff. So basically you have to become empty of mind. Meaning, whenever mind comes and says euphoric enlightenment, and the body opens up like the lotus, it's keeping you within the consciousness that you are. We have a choice also to move out of consciousness, meaning complete death, complete nothing. Not many take that choice. This choice is not when you die, when the body dies. This choice is in your seeking, your inquiry. When you go to that point of enlightenment and this shock comes to say, okay, here you go. Sat Chit Ananda, 7 years of bliss, 9 years of bliss. No more you, non-dual, completely God consciousness. And you ignore it and you want more. You're going to go beyond consciousness. That place of no man's land, that place of absolute emptiness. No opportunity to return, no opportunity to become a saint, a planet, a star, a maggot. No more. That is why enlightenment, as U.G. Krishnamurti says, Eckhart Tolle say, and the speaker says, this shock can come at anything. It can come as a voice, it can come as just a nullification, as if you have been shut down from this bliss, this unbelievable, incredible place that you want so badly to remain in. All family is forgotten about. All life is forgotten about. Into the pot of consciousness, into the core, into the tower of I, into that root, central Buddha state, the door closes. Fortunately. So, why? You see why. Why do we put our bodies through this sitting still for months in the forest for 40 days, 40 nights, simply watching the breath, simply ignorant of the mind, simply denying nati nati, like Ramana Maharshi says, everything that comes, even that blissful state of spirit, no, not this. You want to go forward. I want to go forward. I want to go a bit more forward. And then you're stopped suddenly, thankfully. And the 7 years, 9 years of bliss, it kind of transcends, and you found, wow, it's okay now to be a human. It wasn't okay before. You see, that's why you go through it. The mind has not helped you. The mind has done nothing to help you realize your potential in this world as a form. You've been on every wrong path. And they may be good paths. They don't have to be bad paths. You've tried, you've done universities, you've done this, you've done that, you've helped that person, you've went to this country. And it's not because life took you, it's because there was a plan, an organized way. It may have been by you, it may have been by others, it may have been through encouragement, motivation. But you are not living life as you were meant to be on this planet, as a human being designed for a specific role, a specific purpose. So you put your body through 7 years of bliss, of incredible pleasure. But as U.G. Krishnamurti says, pleasure is just the same as pain. They are both the same thing. And he explains it with sex. When the orgasm comes, the mind is in absolute paradise. The body is in pain. It's writhing about. It cannot cope with this amount of pain. But the mind supersedes it and says to the body, enjoy. But this, why seek? Why go? Why be a yogi? Why go to this place of pure consciousness that you already are? Simply masked by a mind, an ego, a state of, I think I am this, I think I am that, I think I may do this, I assume, I measure, I judge, I believe, I hope, all that stuff. Guesswork, guesswork, guesswork. Well, if you don't seek, if you don't go through consciousness, if you don't find the truth of your original pure state, you're going to put your body through the same procedures every day. At work, 7 years in a job that you don't like. 7 years of alcohol. 7 years of drug abuse. 7 years of physical abuse. 7 years of hoping, because in 7 years things will get better. 7 years of planning about how your life is going to take action. 7 years of organizing what's going to happen at your funeral. 7 years, all 7. The body is being punished anyway, you see. That's why most that experience this pure consciousness, they don't move. They don't act. They don't have a mind. The mind is impotent. And all sex is impotent. Everything is not necessary anymore. Because you don't want more junk before the body transcends. Because God does not want you arriving at his door with suitcases of information, suitcases of books and CVs and stories and experiences. God doesn't want you clogging his home with stuff. Can you imagine the size of God's home when everyone comes with their stories, their information, their history, their achievements, their certificates? God wants you the way he sent you out, pure, free, and empty. That's the only thing you learn. So, enlightenment or establishing pure consciousness is just a removal of the mind, so that the veil appears to open and you go through. But at some point, bang, no more. You're too precious to God. Get back. Now fulfill your life. So you spend your whole life observing what you do. And Osho comes in. Observe. Someone says something nasty to you at work. You don't jump into the pot of assumption, of belief, of anger, of hatred. You simply, before you go into this pot, you say, whoa, let's look at the other side of the story. What is bothering these people? And you'll find there's something antagonizing their mind. So you walk away. And you forgive yourself. You don't forgive them. They have much to learn. You forgive yourself for putting yourself into that position and not observing what could be. Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is all that exists, with breath or out of breath. Where does the breath go when the body transcends? The breath feeds every molecule, every atom. It's not like you say, well, breath, it only affects my lungs and my mouth. The breath is in every particle of your body, in your hair, everything. You are fully conscious. And when breath goes, all of these things, they seem to fade and die because the breath is gone. Where does the breath go? Do you think it dies? No more beings will experience life if breath dies. You go into that freedom, that liberation, with no stories to tell.